Coach, just start off telling us about preseason practice has been going, what you're looking forward to at the opener, and we'll open it for questions.
We're excited to start the second season. We've been going since January 6th, and the girls have been working really hard. It's a lot different this year than it was last year, simply because of the fact as we discuss things and give them plays and technique, they understand, because there's a base of knowledge that was established last year. So the learning curve now is better, and we're able to refine. So we're excited about this year's season. We've accomplished something that no other Auburn team has already in the past has done, and that's preseason number 19. But we discussed with the team, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So everybody's understanding that we're on the same page for the same goal, and that's to get to Oklahoma City and play for a national championship.
Girls, what are your kind of feelings kind of going into the second season under Coach? How do you feel at this point?
Right now, we feel confident. We're ready to go. He's prepared us mentally and physically to his best ability, and all it turns out to be is, are we ready for that first game, which I believe we are.
I have the same outlook as Brandy. However, I'll also say that we believe this year. Last year, Coach came in and he's like, we're going to Oklahoma City, and we all just looked at each other and we're just like, okay. And so this year, everybody knew, we're like, hey, we're going to Oklahoma City, so work your tail off from the beginning because it's going to happen this year. So I believe our outlook has changed, and our perspective of the game and the way we approach the game has changed.
When you talked about the pitching as you get ready to start the season.
We have four pitchers. Lexi was the mainstay for us last year, and she's back and pitching well. Marcy, who got injured at the end of the season, seems to be getting better. We have a transfer in by Rachel Walters, who's a big strapping left-hander that is going to be able to get some quality innings for us. And if she learns how to really pitch, she was kind of a thrower coming in, but to learn to pitch, to spot the ball, she could be outstanding. And then Jenna Abbott, another left-hander, we changed her windup, and I tell you what, one time through the order, she's going to make life tough, and especially for slappers, because her windup is so uniquely different. It's tough on left-handers. So we're excited about the possibilities. We're clearly better in the circle this year than what we were last year.
You mentioned that belief. What point of the season last year did you guys feel like start to realize how good you were?
Getting deeper into SEC play, it really showed us how good we were and how good we could be. I remember we faced some of the top teams that went to the Oklahoma City and won the World Series, and so just seeing that we competed with them, and if we would have done the little things right, then we could have won the games. So taking that into consideration to practices, we focus more on the minute details and the little things, so that won't happen this year.
Randy, what do you think of your new scoreboard and big screen out there?
It's awesome. Kind of sad that I only get to experience it for the season, but, they're doing great things to the field. They're making it more of a family environment, and it's awesome that the girls are going to be able to get new things, new buildings, new scoreboard, to move on and just be able to come to the field and say, this is my field, look how beautiful it is, and show it off to the world.
Both the girls, Lynn's talked about he's more of a teacher than a coach. Where do you all see that? And do you have any examples that maybe at practice you've kind of gotten that teacher side of him more than just when you do get coaching?
We're being taught every day. Every day it's something different. Even when we think that we're doing everything correctly, there's always minor details that need to be corrected. An example of that would be, I'm in the outfield all the time. Coach is strict about accuracy and throwing, and even though I feel, okay, I got the ball there in one hop, he's like, no, you're still over. You need to stay sideways more, spin the ball. So he's always teaching you something, whether it's mentally or physically you're being taught every single day?
It's more the mental game with Coach. Actually, last year gave me a book to read because my mental game was lacking quite a bit. So he's helped me realize the big picture and to not let the strive of perfection get in the way of greatness. So that was always my key last year, was just to do the best I can. And even I was taking an engineering assessment yesterday, and told him I was probably going to be a little upset because probably not going to pass it. And he's like, no, you're going to do your best and you're going to pass because you don't fail. And I said, well, Coach, we'll see how it ends tomorrow morning. And coming back to the field, and he asked me on the way over here, well, how'd the assessment go? I'm like, well, Coach, I passed. And he said, well, wish I would have told you that.
Which book?
Mental Toughness.
Baseball's Winning Edge, Mental Toughness by John Keel.
I guess what's it like to kind of get assigned homework at practice?
To make myself better and to make the team better, it's worth it. We're out here as a family and as a team, and if you're not willing to go the extra mile now, then how do you expect us to go the extra mile in postseason?
For both the players, can you talk about what you guys need to do to take the next step to get to the College World Series?
We need to have the best defense that we possibly can. We need to focus on the accuracy, as Brandy was talking about, in throwing. We actually have consequences in some of our practices where if you do not hit the person straight in the glove or straight in the chest, then our possibilities of turning a double play decreases. Also, we have to focus on quality at bats. To focus on quality at bats, we need to work our approach and to treat every practice as game-like as possible. And so for us to make it to that next level, we need to be consistent. And we need to practice consistency now. And to move on, we need to have that consistency throughout the year.
Not only do we need consistency, we also need to make sure that we slow down the game, take it one game at a time. So Troy is our first opponent. We worry about Troy, how we're going to beat Troy. Then it's that's coming into our tournament, so it's that next game. Worry about that in the next game. So although our main preparation is for Oklahoma City, each team is helping us prepare for that. And in order to get to the next level, again, we just need to take it game by day.
But obviously, a year in, success, those things, but from a mental standpoint, you hear them kind of talk about the things you're reinforcing with them. How different is the program mentally heading into year two?
Oh, it's night and day because they have a certain level of understanding of what we're saying. Last year was kind of like deer in the headlights, and we had to go real slow, and we had to take it because, as we said, and including the coaches, we were all freshmen last year. I mean, we didn't know what Auburn really was, and I mean, even in that sense, everybody has a much greater affection and love and understanding of what Auburn represents now because we've been here a year, and so even our understanding is better, and understanding the kids, we are able to probably teach better because we know the athletes so much better than we did when we first just stepped onto the field. But listening to them talk, it's just like being a proud dad because they're growing up. They're leaving the nest way too soon, but it is that opportunity to see them and what they become because after 4 years, reality really sets in because now they're in the real world and they got to pay their own bills, and so we believe it's a lot more than just the softball, and to see them mature and grow as people, it's huge for us.
Brandy and Casey, I know most of the public probably saw last year the Wild success, but how much does the last game stick with you? Because I know it sticks with you, Coach.
In Minnesota?
Yeah.
For me, honestly, I always have a little, it's in the back of my head a little bit, but as a player, you just gotta flush it. You gotta let it go. It's in the past, and when we get there this year, then it can come back and say, we were here, this is how we're gonna do it, this is how we're gonna win.
I see it as having that bitter taste in your mouth makes you prepare more and prepare better. And so being in the infield and the infield having a few mistakes in the Minnesota game, it causes a big deal because every day is, well, if we would have caught 3 ground balls, we would have been in the next game. If we would have caught 3 ground balls, we'd have been in the Super Regionals. And so being in the infield, working this year, has been a little bit tougher, knowing that we might have had the best defense, but our defense didn't win us that game. So.
The coach has said, several times that most of these games you don't win, you lose. That kind of mentality where those mistakes do end up costing you. So moving forward, what's the approach, and how prepared do you feel with that? Like having that mindset that we have to be perfect if we're going to be where we want to be.
I don't think we have to be perfect. I think we have to be the best we can and to limit the mistakes as much as possible. Corey talks about it in practice. That error or that walk might not come up the first inning or the second inning, but in the 7th inning, when you have to face the number 1 batter instead of the number 9, that's a big difference. Or when you have to face 2 outs, the 4-hole hitter up instead of 2 outs with a 5-hole hitter. So realizing to try to limit those mistakes and to realize, because most of the mistakes he talks about is mental. You can fix mental mistakes. Physical mistakes will happen. And so we need to focus on making sure our mental edge is of game and to work through the physical mistakes.
Oh, mine, same question.
That's bad.
You go, B. You go.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, just, I guess, that approach that you have to not make the mistakes.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to lose a game. You want to win.
I mean, our answers are going to be completely different because she's obviously in the infield, I'm in the outfield. But it all, it all goes back to how mature we are and how we can overcome it and look past it and just continue going. I mean, again, like, our answers are going to be different. I'm also a little bit older than Casey, so I feel that the past is in the past. You got to let it go and look at this year and what we're going to do this year.